right. So going forward, the next piece is chapter 1, the meaning of miracles. And I'm not really sure, as again, this is new to me. I'm not really sure of how people write the formatting for when they discuss this course, but I'm just going to do the best I can. And again, acknowledge that there's beauty in imperfection. And so, chapter 1, the meaning of miracles, is the heading. And then there's a subheading that says the principles of miracles. And there are several pages, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4 sides of a page, which are devoted to kind of breaking down the principles of miracles. I'm not going to read them all, but I did highlight some sections, and I want to share that I found these in my house, and these are really cool. Colorific erasable crayons. And if you can get your hands on some of these, they're kind of like crayons, but they work almost like colored pencils. And I guess they're erasable, but I'm not going to plan on erasing with them. But I like I like highlighting, and so I did that when I found. I try not to over highlight. I could highlight everything when I read stuff. But when something like pops off the page at me, that's when I pull out a color, and I try to use colors as I don't know, I do everything with a little prayer in my heart. And so I use colors as I feel led to pick a color. So, okay. So this is a part right at the beginning. I did not highlight it, but I really like it. So I'm going to just read it. This is section 1, I guess verse 4. Number 4, all miracles mean life, and God is the giver of life. His voice will direct you very specifically. You will be told all you need to know. Miracles are habits and should be involuntary. They should not be under conscious control. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. Miracles are natural. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong. Miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. So I'll just pause there. I really liked that because I feel like miracles and love go hand in hand. Miracles and life go hand in hand. If you stop seeing miracles, I feel like there's a great disconnect with God. And so saying that God is the giver of life and miracles mean life, miracles are evidence of God's existence and love for us. And I like how it says his voice will direct you very specifically. You will be told all you need to know. And I found that is so true. And when we're in denial of that voice, that's when we really end up with struggles and troubles. And um, I don't know, I think that's the negation of light, denying the light. So if we can believe the light, believe the life, believe the miracles as not as evidence, but knowing it's an expression of love from our Creator. I think that's the beauty of the miracle. So, okay, that was verse 4 through 7, I think. All right, and here's number 9. I did highlight this one red. Miracles are a kind of exchange. Like all expressions of love, which are always miraculous in the true sense, the exchange reverses the physical laws. They bring more love both to the giver and the receiver. I love the idea that miracles are kind of exchange, and they're similar to expressions of love, which are always miraculous. The exchange reverses the physical laws, which is, I think, why they have any attention drawn to them at all, why we pay any attention to them, is that physical laws seem to be suspended when we see a miracle. And the miracle brings more love to the giver and the receiver. So there's like a mutual exchange there. So I love that. And then on the next page, page 4, I guess verse 22, I highlight this one blue. Miracles are associated with fear only because of the belief that darkness can hide. You believe that what your physical eyes cannot see does not exist. This leads to a denial of spiritual sight. I made that one blue because for whatever reason, the idea of spiritual sight feels blue to me. Like it feels like a blue idea. That might be silly, but I've noticed that in recent years, there have been a lot of authors that have talked about spiritual sight. There's a book that I really enjoy called I can't remember the name actually right now, but it's by a man who teaches how to awaken or how to pay attention or use your spiritual senses that we all have. It's all of our birthright to use our spirit body for seeing, hearing, smelling, living in the spirit realm and connecting with God. But a lot of us, since we were children, have been taught to turn off the spiritual ears, the spiritual eyes, the spiritual senses, spiritual knowing, feeling, touching. We've been taught to turn that off. We've been taught to deny. And so, what this says here, miracles are associated with fear only because of the belief that darkness can hide. Darkness doesn't hide, it just is. And then you believe that what your physical eyes cannot see does not exist, and that's the lie. And that leads to denial of spiritual sight and almost like an increase of the darkness, if you will. But anyway, that was my takeaway. I highlighted a little bit orange in verse 24. Miracles enable you to heal the sick and raise the dead because you made sickness and death yourself and can therefore abolish both. That felt like orange. I'm not going to talk too much about that right now. I'm guessing that's going to come up later in the text for more discussion. Verse 46, the Holy Spirit is the highest communication medium. That reminds me of there was a time when Jesus was, I think, before Pilate, and he had perceived Pilate's thoughts and didn't really even need to communicate through voice, but he used his ability to communicate through the power of the Holy Spirit. So I think in a lot of ways, when we think about the nature of our soul or our spirit, we do, like when you hear about people who have near-death experiences, or there's many accounts in the Bible where people are traveling in the spirit or taken up by the spirit, or the spirit of the Lord appears and gives a message. A lot of times it doesn't, the person says in the spirit or in the body or out of the body, I cannot say. And so here, when we learn that the Holy Spirit is the highest communication medium, I think that's a true statement. That's an enlightening idea that the Holy Spirit does. It's the fastest way of communicating. It's the communication of thought, and that is how the Holy Spirit communicates. I hope that makes sense. Please don't feel the need to disagree on that. It's it's one of those things. It's like words do not convey adequately the idea, but I like how it says that it's the highest communication medium. And then later on in that section, when you return to your original form of communication with God by direct revelation, the need for miracles is over. Miracles are kind of like a temporal thing. And when we are in direct communication with God all of the time, then we may not need the miracle to manifest the presence of God, because we have God with us and we're in quick, immediate communication. So those are my takeaways for this very first section, the principles of miracles. I hope you enjoyed this little discussion, and forgive me if there's anything that's not perfect, but we're gonna do the best we can to just enjoy it, and hopefully my words won't get muddied in the way, but provide a little bit of enlightenment and healthy, positive discussion. So, all right, all my love, and have a great day.